Welcome back to Hammer Horror in Order, where the whole theme is right there in the title. We're watching the Hammer films, horror movies, and thrillers in the order in which they were released. So we've worked our way up finally to 1967. We watched The Witches last month, and that was the last Hammer release from 1966. So now we are in 1967, in particular, March 15th of 1967. So almost to the day that this was released, right? Give or take a week or so. And we're talking about Frankenstein Created Woman. It was actually released in, this was one of those ones where it was released in the United States before it was released in the UK. Here in the US, it was March 15th of 67. In the UK, it was released June 18th of 67.
Hmm.
And it was a double bill with the movie that we're going to be talking about next month. So I'll save that. That's a tease. We'll save that towards the end. We'll let you know what the other one was in the double bill. But yeah, it came out the same day as that movie. But this one was directed by Terence Fisher, and boy, you can really tell it in the quality here, right? It's
Oh
it's
yeah.
it's directed by Terence Fisher. The screenplay was written by Anthony Hinds, and if if you've been watching this series throughout, you'll know that those two, if one of those two are attached, specifically both of them together, it's going to be
Mm.
something pretty good. And then you throw in Peter Cushing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
boom, recipe
Yeah.
for
The
success.
only. Yeah. Oh, definitely. It's gonna. And Terrence Fisher has become. I mean, a good bit of Hammer before we started this, but certainly not the majority of their horror. I'd seen most of the, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Mummy, and those type, and the Curse of the Werewolf, and all that. Uh, and the more we do of these, the more it reinforces the fact that I think Terrence Fisher is definitely my favorite of the directors
Yeah.
in Hammer stable.
I think now this is what the 42nd movie that we've watched here on in the series, and I think I agree. Not that there's not good ones, other
No,
ones,
no, definitely.
sure,
Yeah.
but you tend to know now. I think we've got a big enough sample size to know, like, if it's Fisher and honestly Anthony Hinds,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's gonna be at least passable at the least, right? And we haven't, we talk about this every month, but we really haven't found any hammers that we hated.
No, no.
Some that we
Of
didn't
course,
like as much,
as
but
much as others, but
yeah.
yeah.
Even like the worst so far is still well made, just not as
Yep.
entertaining as some of these. But this one though, Frankenstein Created Woman, this is where in my mind Hammer excelled the most, was those period horror how would you phrase that? Like that Victorian
The
era
Gothic,
type,
Gothic horror,
Gothic, yeah,
Victorian,
Gothic
yeah,
horror, yeah.
yeah.
Like this is the type of stuff that they excelled in, right?
Not that you only want that, because it's good to have these other ones sprinkled in there,
Yeah,
such as the
yeah,
Gorgon or Night Creatures or whatever. But yeah, you definitely fall back on whenever these come around. You're like, all right, because we got a few of these that are maybe a little bit more thriller oriented or more whatever. But then when a Frankenstein or Dracula or whatever comes around again, you're like, oh, okay, here we go.
yeah, yeah. And I think we're hitting a little bit of a stride now too. I mean, because the last couple of months we've watched Rasputin the Mad Monk, the
Mhm.
Reptile, the
Oh
Witches,
yeah,
and now we're here, and then we got a couple coming up here over the next few months. That this is high end,
Cheek Hammer.
yeah, peak Hammer, but also like leans more towards that monster type of stuff.
Mhm.
Because for a while there, it felt like every other movie was just gaslighting, and there's still plenty of that, even in these movies, right? But like
Oh
those
yeah, yeah.
those thrillers, man, when you start watching them one after another, it's like, all right, it's kind of starts feeling like the same thing.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean they are great. Get me wrong, it's Hammer and it's going to be well made, but Hammer is not Hitchcock when it comes to thrillers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. This is the fourth in the franchise, or I should say, the Frankenstein series of movies that Hammer did. We, um, God, it's been years now because it was one of the first
Yeah.
handful that we talked about, The Curse of Frankenstein from
Hmm.
1957. Then in 1958, The Revenge of Frankenstein. And then I think just last year we talked about The Evil of Frankenstein, which that came out in 1964. So this is the fourth in that series of seven. So we actually have three more
Hmm.
Frankenstein Hammer movies to watch as we go, as we move along here. And I'm pretty sure Peter Cushing's in every single one of them. I think he always played
Hmm.
Victor
Baron
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That is one of the things that I think I've liked so much about these Frankenstein movies in particular is that like they seem to focus more on him than they do whatever he creates. Like each, it's
Yeah.
a, you know what I mean? It's like each movie there's a different kind of Frankenstein spin. Like because I think there's only like the true Frankenstein monster, definitely in the first one, right? Maybe
Hmm.
and maybe Revenge. I don't remember. It's been a
Yeah.
while since.
Revenge.
Yeah,
Revenge picked up right, basically,
yeah.
literally right after
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the guillotine. Well, guillotine plays a big part in this one too.
yeah. There's
But
always guillotine. Even when I saw it at the
yeah,
beginning of this movie, I'm like, oh, it's the guillotine again. And I thought maybe they were just replaying stuff from
yeah,
the first two movies or whatever.
yeah,
This is different, but this one I think is different. And we don't do full spoilers on this series. This one is different in that, like, I think they grasp more on the to sound elevated, right? The existential, the soul of a person.
yeah.
Like, I don't remember them keying in on that too
Doing that
much in those
before.
other ones
Yeah,
where they're like, yeah, and those it seems like always. I think Baron Frankenstein's goal is to create the perfect human, right? Like
mm,
God created this, but I can make it better. It's that power trip thing in his
yeah,
mind.
yeah,
It's better
yeah,
than. So he's always trying to create better. But this one is it's almost like an un-Frankenstein Frankenstein movie.
yeah. Because the plot revolves not so much on. I mean, you already know that he can do this. Create life. It's just what is he going to do with it this time? And then the soul complex kind of thing is play. But the reason it's not just, well, let me put a soul in this, but the soul plays a big part in the plot of this movie as far as why it gets transferred into somebody, right? Because after that happens, there's a plot device that unfolds, and we don't usually do the spoilers on here, right?
No,
So we're not going to go into all that. So, but there's a reason why bringing back a body and bringing back a soul and putting them together plays a major part in the plot of this movie.
but
And,
most Frankenstein tales, though, they're the doctor makes some kind of monstrous thing.
yeah, yeah,
Like Frankenstein's monster, bolts and necks, all that. Even
yeah,
all the way up to the newest one, right? But this one is
yeah,
this one is different in that, like, he's not really make. Honestly, in this one, it's like it should just be called like Frankenstein's a good plastic surgeon or something.
well, yeah, things happen that he didn't plan on in this movie. Like he plans on doing this one thing. Like again, we're trying not to give away too much spoiler, but he
Yeah, yeah,
plans on bringing a body back to life. But then something else happens to where he has another body
yeah.
a fresher even body, that he's able to do something so it just kind of falls in his lap, and then the plot kind of goes from there. Like I was mentioning about the soul from this other body he had before,
Yeah.
and marrying the two, so to speak. And there's a reason for
But
that.
it creates something of a different type of monster here
Yes, yeah, it
than
definitely,
what you normally have in a
yeah, and
Frankenstein.
that makes it interesting. I think that makes it
It
definitely
does.
different. So it's not just another rehash. And I'm fine with rehashes of Frankenstein. It's a classic story, and there's always a little twist or a little something different, even up to the Guillermo del Toro one that's done to it. Even though that one follows the novel a little bit more, there's still a different point in that movie that goes off from the novel and goes in a direction that hasn't been done before. So there's always a little something in these decent, more than halfway decent Frankenstein movies. I mean, there are some real shit Frankenstein movies out there.
Yeah.
Have you seen Frankenstein's Island? There's a lot of movies like
Yeah.
that out
Oh
there too.
God.
There's some terrible ones, but
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
ones that are good, usually they go down some different paths, right? And this one definitely goes down a different path. I think I read somewhere that this is one of Martin Scorsese's favorite films, actually.
Yeah. Which is kind of random, but that's
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
cool
yeah.
that's a cool pull from him. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Also, one last note before we close up shop, when we give our Hammer rating on this. This was the next to last, so penultimate film that Hammer made at Bray Studios.
Mm.
They made this movie, and then the one that we're going to be talking about next month that we'll tell you in just a second what that is. That was it. These were the last ones that they made at Bray Studios. They moved to other places from the late '60s on, to the bitter end. So
Yeah.
The classic Bray Studios. This is one of the last ones made there. Um, so, but like I said, we have done three Frankenstein movies up to this point. We loved The Curse of Frankenstein. We gave that one 4 3/4 hammer. As matter of fact, to this day, it's the highest rated Hammer movie that we've done here on the series. Um, The Revenge of Frankenstein in 1958, we loved as well. We gave that one 3 3/4. But then The Evil of Frankenstein from 1964, we didn't like that one as much. We gave that one 2 1/4 hammers. So we weighed all these things into the decision making. We talked about it beforehand, so we decided to land on 3 1/4 hammers for this one. So we didn't love it quite as much as The Revenge of Frankenstein, but it's definitely way better than The Evil of Frankenstein, right?
Yeah. And refresh my memory. Well, I don't know if you have it in front of you. Terence Fisher did not direct Evil Frankenstein, did he? I'll bet. I don't think he did. I don't think he did.
Let me quickly go back. No, that was Freddie Francis.
Okay. I
Anthony,
stand by that. What I said that yeah,
yeah, there you go.
that's the week of Frankenstein, and it's
Anthony Hinds did write the screenplay and produce
he
that
did.
one. Freddie Francis directed it. So yeah, they got Terence Fisher back. So
Yeah. I'm
what do
not
you
shitting
know?
on Freddie Francis. Freddie Francis does do some good
He
Hammer
had some
films
good ones.
too,
Yeah, yeah.
but but that's the I think that's one of the not he's not a weak link, but in the Frankenstein movies that we've watched so far, that is the weakest one, and the difference being, I think the other ones, I'm pretty sure Revenge of Frankenstein also had Terence Fisher behind it.
Mm. Well, we'll find out as we go along how does it get any better or worse because we've got three
Mhm.
more
I know
Frankenstein
one of them,
Hammer.
Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, but I don't remember what the other ones two are right now off the top of my head.
Terrence Fisher did do the first two.
Okay,
Next
that's
one.
what I was
But yeah,
thinking.
so they got him back, and what do you know? You know,
Yeah.
it's top flight for us. So there you go. So I've teased it enough. So next month, what we're going to be talking about is the Mummy Shroud. Smoke, I know you've brought up before how like the Mummy is your favorite of
Yeah, yeah,
all the
sarcastically
monsters.
speaking, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we'll see
But
if this one's any better or worse. We did like
the
the Mummy.
difference, yeah, see that I was going to say Hammer's Mummy is probably my favorite mummy movie. Once you get up to the Brendan Fraser ones, that's a totally different thing. I don't really.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
saying, let's say from the '60s back, my favorite mummy movie is probably the Hammer one. I think I like it better than the Universal one, even though uh, Boris Karloff is great as the mummy.
Hmm.
Uh, Christopher Lee is also great as the mummy, just like Christopher Lee's great as Dracula. He does a different version of the mummy, and he does a different version of Dracula. So it's he puts his own spin on it. I mean, as much as a spin as you can put on the mummy. I mean, I don't know if Christopher Lee plays the mummy in the Mummy Shroud, because the other thing I was going to say is I've never seen the Mummy Shroud, so it'll be a first time watch for me on that one.
Yeah, all I know about that one is Andre Morel is in it, who he's been in a ton of things that we've done here.
Mhm.
He's one of the Hammer standouts. I don't see who plays the. Okay, here it is, Eddie Powell. Eddie
Okay, yeah, I didn't
Powell.
think it was Christopher Lee, but his portrayal in the first Mummy of the Mummy, like not a whole lot you do with that. It's almost like a zombie role because you don't really, when he's as the Mummy, he's not really talking or anything like that. It's just whenever he's in the human form or whatever. Yeah,
And
but
that one is directed by John Gilling, who's done a few other things that we've.
the reptile, I think, right, and maybe the Rasputin, the Mad Monk, maybe
I can't remember everything right away, but that sounds about right. I know he's done a couple that we have done here. Yeah, the Reptile, Plague of the Zombies. Did
Play
we
the
not do
Zombies.
that? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, Play the Zombies. He did.
yeah,
Unfortunately, that was the one that me and Tiana weren't on. We need to watch that and give our
yeah.
well.
That
We already
one
gave you already gave the hammer, right? So,
we did.
but we still need to watch it because I haven't
Yeah,
seen it in
you
forever.
should for sure. Yeah, yeah. Well, there you go. So next month, come back for the Mummy Shroud and onward and upward. We've got lots of cool stuff uh here on the channel for you to go check out, including Grindhouse Gutter, Video Vortex. Like I said before, there was 41 other Hammer movies. So go, if you haven't watched any of the series, this is the first time you've watched it. Thank you for watching. Go check out all that other stuff. If you like this one, you'll like all that. So for the professor, Tiana, Donnie, who couldn't be with us, I'm Josh. We are the All American Spook Show. Listen to the All American Spook Show podcast every Monday at 6 p.m. East, right here on the channel or wherever you get your podcast. So we'll talk to you next month.